Hey, good morning. As I mentioned in my last episode, starting new things is always a bit of a challenge, and so I thought I'd take a little bit different approach this morning. I was woken up this morning. Um, it's a snowy day here in Ohio. They called for a pretty large storm that came in, so everyone's kind of hunkered in, and I'm certainly not going to go out and start shoveling. And so, since I have the opportunity to work from home, I'm going to take it. So today, before I start my day, wanted to record a couple thoughts that I kind of been mulling about in my head, and was really just, I really think it was kind of the Spirit leading me into some just thoughts. Really, it's about worship. As some of you know, I am a worship leader here at a local church, and leading worship has been a part of my life for probably over 20 years. And I've seen a lot of different changes in the ministry, and seen a lot of different changes in the way that we do worship. And by and large, it's been exciting to watch. But this morning, as I was laying there, and I can't even say I was praying or I was in this deep moment of thought. But as a worship leader, you're always sort of thinking about the next service, and you're always thinking about the last service and how things went. And this past week, it was one of those weeks where I thought, the package as far as the music was really good. I was really excited about singing it. But yet I noticed that the congregation really, they just weren't into it, and it could be a lot of different circumstances. I never take it personal about any of it, but they just didn't seem like they were really engaged, and I think I remember in the midst of the service thinking, what do I need to change? What's going on? Do I say something? And I think I just kind of let the moment go, and I just kind of got through it. But this morning I woke up, and I know sometimes, you guys probably do the same thing. You wake up and you have these thoughts. And I woke up with this thought and it was really sort of playing out in my head, things that I want to say to my congregation. And I may say it to my congregation, who knows. But say, as I was laying there, I got this thought. And again, I struggle when people say, "Well, I had this word of the Lord that came to me." I think it was, but I always that's a very serious statement, and so I'm always very cautious about saying things like that. But I really do feel like it was the word of the Lord in a lot of ways. But basically saying, when you worship, each week when you get together, that act of worship is really, there was a song out called Audience of One, and that's really what it is. And so what the impression that I got, or the thought that was given to me, was that in worship, it's really easy to get caught up in the performance aspect, or get caught up in the music, or the band, or the charisma of the leader. But as I was laying there this morning, it just overwhelmed me that we are there to worship God. And when I say that, it's a cliche statement, but we're really there as a collective body, and we all serve a purpose there, but we're as a collective group of people to worship God. And so as I was praying, as I was thinking about this thought, I wanted to make sure that I recorded it. So I don't know if this will become an episode or a podcast, but I wanted to make sure that I recorded this thought, because as I was laying there, I get caught. I know I get caught up in the week to week, and I know I get caught up in trying to put together the best kind of songs that match the theme of the service. And my pastor and we have conversations throughout the week to talk about, kind of where he's going with things. And so my impression, or my thought, though, was that as we do worship, how can I as a leader bring it back to that audience of one? How can I frame the service so that people understand that regardless of if they don't like the song or maybe they can't sing, there's a reason that the Psalms talk about making a joyful noise. I think people can get caught up in thinking that that it's about kind of them at times, and if they're not a good singer, or maybe they're not very maybe they like to be quiet, and so they don't really feel like they can participate, or whatever the case may be. But when you think about worship and you think about this concept, and I like that idea of an audience of one, that we worship and we look to just bare our hearts and souls before God. It's unexplainable to think that that's really what worship is about. And as we try to make it about different things, as we try to get caught up in the production of it, especially in today's church. I know we're a small church, and it seems like we can get very caught up in the production of worship, and yet God just wants us right where we're at. And so, like I said, this was just sort of a thought I wanted to record, but hopefully it might be an encouragement. I don't know if I'll publish this or not, but I wanted to record something because it was on my mind that as I prepare this week, as I think about worship, as I think about leading this week, I wanted to thank God in a lot of respects for the reminder that worship is not about the music that I put together or the words that I might say. It's really about Him, and it's about coming before Him and giving what I have, and realizing that although I may not sound the best or may not play the best, or I have to use tracks because I don't have a band, regardless of how it all comes together, if the purpose is to honor God and the purpose is to just really lift it to Him and not get caught up in all of that. And not to say we should eliminate all that, because I think it can add to the experience. But I think this morning I was just really impressed by the idea that our worship should be a reflection of who He is in our lives. And so this morning I don't have a lot to say. I just wanted to quickly record this. Maybe it'll be an encouragement. It may not even make an episode, who knows. Yeah, worship, it's all about Him.